was gonna try and see if I could do with music bumping in my ears, but I wouldn't be able to tell if I'm shouting or not if I did that. So we're just going to put those right here. We're just gonna let those right there. Okay. So, here's the rest of the stuff I really wasn't able to get to in my review for Final Fantasy VII. Death burp. This is the stuff I couldn't get into in my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth review. Now, let me just make this very clear here. This is stuff that, while some of it I do have an issue with, some of it I'm not sure about. Most of it is just stuff that I wasn't sure were worth really going into or didn't have the time to get into. So here we go. I'm going to start off with one that I'm kind of conflicted about, which is Chadley's missions. I wasn't able to go into depth on it. I was able to basically lightly brush on it from my knowledge. Basically, in my experience, Chadley's missions, two of them aren't very good. They're kind of boring. They're kind of lame. They're not very interesting. One of them comes with some cool little stuff. Another one just kind of feels like it's supposed to be a nod to like freaking synchronization points from Assassin's Creed. Feels like it's supposed to be a nod to. And I don't understand why they even did that at all, because it's not really beneficial to the game. I wouldn't say it hurts the game, but it is kind of just like, why did you waste your time on this? Or if you were going to do this, why wouldn't you make it better than here? It feels kind of laughable. So basically, Chadley's two missions that kind of just suck are that of the towers and that of the life springs. Now, these life springs, they unlock lore of the area, which is kind of neat-ish, but the problem here is that all you do is you go to a thing, you click triangle 3 times, you're done. No, really. There is some traversal that sometimes happens for them, because some of them you have to have specific traversal methods to get to, but those are not much. And again, their only real payoff is that they give you some hunt areas. They give you transmuter chips locations, but that's more or less it, and I don't entirely agree with that. If you're going to have me do something that's not very interesting and you're not going to spice it up ever, because I'm going to tell you right now, I've done too damn many of them. I haven't done all of them, so hopefully maybe there's one at the end that gets more interesting, but so far they've all followed the same methodology. Go to Crystal, click triangle 3 times at certain timings, and that's it. That's it. I've done, last I checked, I think I did a total of, I want to say 14 or 16 of them, and they all the same thing, the same way, the same method, the same everything, with no real variation other than, do I look at a desert or do I look at not a desert? And that's more or less it. It really is just pretty lame and anticlimactic, and there's really not a lot of payout for doing it. Then there's the towers. Now, the towers have a little small, we're going to be honest here, weak-ass fight blocking them. Once you beat those opponents, because let's be honest here, they're pretty consistently so massively weak and low in numbers to the point of where you will massacre their ass hard and fast, and the odds of you taking any damage against them is low unless you play recklessly, like numbnuts here. If you don't play it that way, and you play it, properly, spoiler alert for you, you're going to make them your little hell, beat the ever-loving shite out of them, leave them in a puddle in a ditch that you've completely made them dig for themselves. That bad. They're not very good. They don't do damage. They don't really give a good payout. They're pretty crappy when it comes to the EXP payout for that fight too. So basically all this tower boils down to is meaningless fight that has pretty much no benefit. Climb a very small tower that doesn't take long or any effort to climb. Climbing's not even that great. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not that great. So climbing this tower is kind of boring, and it doesn't help that there's really nothing to it. It's just that. That's all it is. It's climb this tower or go right in front of this tower, push triangle, leave. Over and over and over again. Now, there are some towers where you have to have certain chocobos in order to get to them. The problem here is, once again, these are not this is not a consistency. This is not consistent. It's pretty much the same one note over and over and over. And if you thought it was tedious for the life springs, imagine doing borderline anywhere from about 6 or above towers every single area. And just like there, the payout for doing it is pretty crap. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for Chadley having materials, honestly, I would actively go out of my way to never do these, because 2 of them are just not any fun. Now, there is combat, like special opponent type missions. Now, those are a little bit better, and their experience payout is a lot more acceptable. It's not amazing. It isn't. But it is far more acceptable and far more in line with when you're completing Completionist. When you're doing that, works out so much better. But I do have a small issue with the transmuter chips. It's a small, tiny thing as well for those things. They're really cool. They can allow you to make some really useful items when you need items. They allow you to make some gear if you're needing some better gear. And once again, the merchants are being stingy assholes and not getting new stock. God damn you, merchants. You can at least circumvent their bullshit a little bit by having the transmuter chips, getting the items you need, and then crafting it yourself. Almost a nice middle finger to them for all their BS of not stocking up. But they have no weapons. Unless their weapons are hidden under key special like quest-based items, unless they're hidden in there is no weapons that you can craft with this server. You can make accessories and you can make wrist stuffs, and that's it. You can't make. You want a sword. You want a sword because you're sick of Cloud using the same sword for the past 5 hours. Well, fuck you. You can't do that. You want gloves so that Tifa can punch people better, because you're sick and tired also of using the same gloves for the past 5 hours. Fuck you. How dare you? Ah! I have lost count of how many times I've gone to a merchant after 5 hours to see if they finally have a weapon, and the answer is no. How dare you? I almost feel like the weapons are almost anemic in this game. I don't think I've done every single tiny thing, so maybe there's something hidden away. But right now, I've only counted, not counting the Buster Sword you start with, I can only count off the top of my head about 4 or 5 swords. I'm not sure whether to count freaking Sleek Saber, because it's not very good. And at times weaker than the Buster Sword. Which is a weird feeling. Anyways, ultimately, there's not that many weapons per character. There's really few. Like, I'm pretty sure there was more weapons in the last game, in 7 Remake. Is that accidental? Intentional? I don't know. I don't understand. But yeah, you're spending so effing long just with the same weapon, to the point of where honestly you kind of get a little sick of just like, okay, when can I get a new weapon now? I get a new weapon now? No? Damn. And repeat that every 5 hours. Like, literally, it's become laughable. Now, some of these are, hidden away in areas, but honestly, it's a good thing I found as many as I did, I guess. Otherwise, I would have probably dropped a whole nother point just from how anemic it would have felt if I didn't know to look in the areas, to check the areas I go into. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have as many weapons as I do. I'd probably have half the weapons I do, and I don't have that many. I don't. Sleek Saber, Ingenious Sword, freaking Streak, was it called? I don't remember that one's name intentionally. It's just, and then one that kind of looks cool. That looks like a pirate wheel for a freaking guard. And it's just not many. If, like I said, 4 or maybe 5 at most, from my knowledge so far. And I've beaten the game once already. I'm working on my second one right now, speeding through it as best I can. I am already, wow, 23% of the way through the first chapter. Okay, that's pretty good. But anyways, I'm like speeding through it as best I can, but like, man, I am just only 5, and that's just Cloud, mind you. This thing is, there's only about 4 to 5 for so far everybody. I'm not sure if this is an accident or intentional. Then we have a bigger thing that I'm not a fan of right now, which is weapon upgrades. Now, here's the thing: is in 7 Remake, the way weapon upgrades worked is you would spend some SP and you would enhance your weapons, making them stronger and stronger, and also giving them modifiers. In this game, it's which one do you want? You heard me right. You can only have a certain number. Now, so far right now, I'm at the point of where I can only have a total of 3 upgrades on per weapon. The thing is that kind of sucks. In 7 Remake, it felt far better to be upgrading weapons because it was giving me a clear progression of I'm becoming more badass. I'm becoming stronger. I'm becoming faster. I'm becoming more efficient. I'm becoming a daemon. I'm becoming death itself. And here, I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all. In fact, quite the opposite. I feel like that there's not really a huge, real, sincere difference between my level 1 Cloud as opposed to level 50 Cloud. That's how limited these upgrades are. And that sucks. All the stuff that's supposed to help make them feel more badass now is in a whole different thing called skills. And even that I have issues with, because skills it has some useless crap that honestly no one really benefits from aside from magic characters. Pretty much the majority of the team is either all-rounders or physical types. Actual, like, raw magic users are Aerith and Kate Sith. And even then, Kate Sith's not entirely a proper magic. He's more magic and luck. Like, honestly, the only characters, like I said, off the top of my head who are raw, pure magic types are Aerith. And that's kind of just it. There's not really anyone on the team who is a pure magic typing. So having these abilities that allow me to do a free spell isn't very good. So that's great. That's a huge chunk of our skills basically gone. The rest are synergy abilities and synergy skills. Well, as I lightly touched in my review, synergy skills really aren't that good or that useful. They don't do much in the way of damage. Hell, in the time rate it takes you to do a synergy skill, you could have just had Cloud or Barret or Tifa just wail on somebody for like that same amount of time of that animation, and you would have done more damage. Wow. I wish that was a joke. It isn't. And that's kind of a repeating problem. And it only gets worse from there somehow. So that eliminates a large chunk of the board even still. Then we have the synergy abilities, which are great, but when you're trying to do specific romances, a lot of those synergy abilities kind of get thrown away. Now, if you're not doing romances, this is fine. You're going to get the full usage out of these. But, like I said, though, that's if you're doing that. If you're not playing it with any romance in mind. If you're just playing it to try and have everybody, take care of everybody, get Sephiroth, get his butt beat, get home, get dinner, go. that's kind of the whole thing, though, is if you're doing focusing on romances, though, doing these things can possibly put some of those, I think, at risk, or maybe they'll give you an option. I'm not really sure. Ultimately, though, I do kind of feel like when it comes down to it, it devolved. It's basically, skills kind of are kind of a joke because now it's the same problem you had in upgrades for 7 Remake, where there was a huge incentive to pick the abilities that gave you stat modifiers such as increasing your defense, magic defense, attack, magic, so on. Stuff that involved increasing the overall number of slots per weapon, stuff like that. Here, though, it's not as bad, but it's still there. And to an extent, I am not entirely agreeing with. My bigger problem, though, is that between this and the weapon upgrades kind of now sucking ass, it's kind of a little sad because you're like, if you just took the original system they had in 7 Remake and just expanded on it, you would have had something pretty freaking good. For example, instead of things like increasing duration of yabba yabba, instead replace that with synergy abilities and slap that into the overall way that they did the upgrading system in 7 Remake, that would have been far better because now it's like, okay, cool, do I want to be rewarded with an ability we can use as a replacement to our typical, run-of-the-mill, like, focus, thrust, triple, slash, stuff like that? Do I want to have those, or do I want to have synergy abilities? They might not be quite as, or I might be lessening my skill roster, but I'm getting the payout of here's this really strong ability that I can quick click and bam, hit them hard. I would have preferred that over what is here, really, because what is here, it's not bad, but it's just nowhere near as cool or good feeling. I don't feel like I've gotten any stronger, truly. That's kind of a repeating problem, is I never really felt like I was getting stronger. I never felt like my characters were getting better or more efficient or more effective. And a large chunk and a large contributor to this is the fact that the upgrade system is no longer a thing that's upgrading my weapons as I go, truly. Instead, it's now pick one of these 3 things, and mind you, that's 3 things at level 49 with my characters at a party level of 8 with a weapon level of 7. I think it can go up one more, but I'm not confident in that, and I would have to test myself, and I'll get to that whenever I can. But it's still kind of a sucky feeling because I don't feel like I'm getting stronger. I feel like my enemies are getting stronger. I feel like my enemies are getting tankier, more damaging. I don't feel like I'm getting better, though. I don't feel like my team is getting stronger. I feel like my team is still not that much stronger from when they were level 1. I don't feel like anything changed, really. I don't feel like anything actually improved. Which kind of sucks. I kind of wish they kept the older system, but then expanded on that system by adding in these synergy abilities. I kind of wish they would have done that because I feel like that would have been far more enjoyable, likable, especially since we could gut the entire kind of not very good and not very likable synergy skills and just have synergy abilities be that replacement. Add on to this the upgrading system where I was constantly building as I would level my weapons. Instead of feeling like my weapons have stagnated and are not getting better at all. I mean, I have a score attack for Cloud of about 300 something, but I don't feel it. I'm not doing damage that much more than where I was so much earlier, when I was level 25, level 10. I don't feel like I'm doing much more than I already was. So it kind of is a sucky feeling going throughout this game and never really feeling like I am getting stronger at all. Now, they can technically fix this in the game to come. They can. It's pretty easy to fix. You have some good. Take that good. Take the good from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Shove them in a room and play some Barry White. Done. We have our fix. I would love to say that I'm entirely joking, but I'm Kind of not. It is that much pretty easy to fix. Take good here, take good there, throw away the excess. It's... Now, they did a lot good here. They did. Hell, that's why, even though all these small things did add up in the end to remove a point, taking it from a 10 to a 9, I want the record to show, because I don't feel like I did or could emphasize it hard enough in that prior video, especially since I didn't want the video to be too excessively long. So I'm going to emphasize it again here. The fact that the game was so good in so many ways, to the point of where the video would have been too damn long if I went over everything. And even now, this video is longer than I wanted it to. Let that point, that showcases something here. That even as I am doing this video to touch on some of the other things I couldn't touch on in the base video, this video is still too long and longer than I wanted, and there's still more I have not been able to cover. That's how good this whole experience, there's so many things I am actively like chopping out even as we speak, just to try and keep it to a reasonable length. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know about you, but when there's so much good to the point of where you can almost fill 2-hour-long videos just on gushing about the good decisions in the game, that's a good thing. That is a freaking good thing. You know what? I'm in PJ pants, but you know what? Fuck it. Alright? Fuck it. Brava! 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 Good. They did done good here, okay? And I will fight mothers. I will fight people. They did good here. Hey, PC, don't fall. Hey. I really need to get a better... I need to get a better... at a lot of things. One of these days, this PC is going to go flying, and I'm not going to be there to save it. And I'm not looking forward to that day. Ultimately, I will say this. I have had so much fun with this game. I am replaying it right now. Yes, you heard me. I'm replaying it right now, making my way towards doing other romances. I already romanced Tifa. I'm going to save romancing Aerith for last. First things first, though, I'm going to romance Barrett. Okay, I'm going to romance freaking Yuffie, Red. If I can, I'll damn well try to romance Kate Sif. I'm going to spend one game where I don't romance nobody because I'm bitter about not being able to romance Jessie. Yes, I am that petty. And then after that, I will go and romance Aerith, and I'll also, at that same time, work on beating the game on hard. I will need a lot of luck with that one, because Sephiroth spanked my ass good. Something about having like 8 or 12 boss fights in a row. For some reason, that took it out of me mentally. Oh, but dear Lord, I've had too much fun. And I know it's going to drain me mentally to do that part on hard mode even more so. I don't care. I've had too much fun. I'm having too much fun. I don't think this will get as many replays as Baldur's Gate 3. But it's going to get a good amount of time put into it. A lot. Oh my god. If people wonder where I've been, I've probably been here. I do apologize for any family functions I might have missed. I'm going to be pretty aggressively in here, doing what I do best. Now, time for this video to end. The Digimon D&D video that should have gone up so much sooner if it wasn't for how miserable I've been doing and feeling and existing for a week straight now. I am going to get it up. It's going to be up the same time as this. It's going to be literally just like half an hour to an hour at most after this video is up. So, I hope you guys will check it out. And I hope my players will be ready for tomorrow. Because I'm going to put y'all through a bit of a ringer. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. You're probably going to hate my ass. But at the same time, this is due to your own fate rolls being what they were. So, I probably should have put that thing at so much higher of a number with how busted that can make things. I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait for tomorrow. I am way too excited, and I hope we get to play. I'm gonna be a I'm gonna be a bit sad if we don't because I am way too excited. I'm amped to such an extreme. Like, I'll see you all tomorrow. See ya. If I can click the button.